many people that they have deemed saints, and of course people go and they pray, you know, to these saints, and like I said, 2,000 years from now, or however long from now, the whole idea of why they made them saints will have been lost, and then they will be what we call gods. They will have moved them to a different status. Excuse me for a quick second. I must drink a little bit of water. So we're looking at Catholicism, Christianity, you know, Scientology, the Kabbalah, the Muslims, all operating, even though they think they're all operating, you know, under different terms, there is still that base concept. This whole thing with the New Age and Ascended Master is interwoven into all of these other religious beliefs. So there is a core game within this reality, and it is from this level of the game that we are held spellbound. You know, these are core game players that we're talking about, and I'm going to mention some of these here, which I typically do mention. There's tons of them, but these are the main ones: the Sanat Kumara, Lord Maitreya, Jesus the Christ, Archangel Michael and Gabriel, Dujwal Kul. You know, all of these individuals, these beings, are looked on in a very excuse me, interesting manner, and have had an amazing influence on our world today. An excerpt I'd like to also read from Dr. Stone, and he is with this organization and these concepts in terms of a New Age movement, and much of what I will be talking about. He says, "My beloved brothers and sisters, this may be the single most important chapter or lesson I have ever channeled and written, for I'm going to attempt to share with you every single thing I did to humbly achieve and step into the position of being the spiritual leader of the inner plane synthesis ashram, formerly held by the Ascended Master Dujwal Kul, the next world teacher for the next 2,000-year cycle, and next in line in the future to take over the position of Office of the Christ, and next president and head of the spiritual hierarchy on planetary levels for the life wave, which is currently incarnated on Earth, which is all of you." Okay, my point to bringing this up, there's so much more to it that we wouldn't even be able to go into. My point for bringing this up is what I'm trying to say to you. Although most people may not even have a clue that these such things are going on, and you may say, well, I don't really care, I don't, you know, whatever. Knowledge is really a very powerful thing, and although you may not know that this is going on, it's subtly affecting you, your belief system, the choices you make, what your perception is of external reality. There is so much influence that is continuously going on that you don't realize it. And again, this is about overriding the hypnotic spell of the matrix, the system, the program, the game. These are all aspects of the game that have been running a running program for a long time, and wired again into everything that we think that we are, and how we ended up defining who we are and what our spiritual beliefs are. It's all interwoven in these concepts. Now, you notice he said the position of Office of the Christ, and some of you have heard me before. I've talked about that a little bit before in explaining that they recognize these as an office. What did I mention before? What was I talking about before? Wasn't I talking about business and corporations and the structure of it? And I've talked about it many other times in lectures. This is what you must recognize. So we're talking, what they're looking at is who gets to be in charge next. Just like we got a new president and new board members, the cabinet, it's the same thing happening here. people, individuals or beings that operate on a more aware level or elevated level of consciousness, of awareness, who these what we call secret societies answer to, communicate with, deal with. This is their worship. Well, it's significant because these are the people who get elected into office. These people that get elected into office to run everything, and even the corporate heads, are all interwoven in much of this stuff. And they are the ones running things. And you are what? In it. You are in it. You are part of this running program. And the rules and regulations are set up based on these people, based on their beliefs, based on who they think they report to, based on all of these things. So this is the reason why it's an important aspect. So again, we are not here to disband or beat up the game. That is not my objective. My objective is for a deeper realization of how the machine works, how the game is working, so that you can start to make different choices in terms of how you operate in the game. You can't play a game if you don't know how it works, how the rules really work. You just can't. You can't be a part of it. It doesn't, you're just going to get run over. And that's how everybody's been feeling, run over, because you don't realize how deep this machine runs, how deep it runs. And this is all still just the surface that I'm talking about. So anyway, so these are offices, and he's talking about assuming office, and you might say, oh, he's crazy. Doesn't really matter, because all these other organizations, Freemasonry, they're all tied into it as well. Now, if you've never read an article, it's a 13-page article, but on the internet it's about 3. I think it takes up, I think I split it up in 3 or 4. It's called Government of the Matrix. You can watch the DVD. The DVD has a lot of information on it. However, the article, because of some of the things I did not want to say live, is in the article, and it basically just ties together it without writing a whole book on it. It basically ties together all of these different organizations, so you can see how it's all interwoven. It just takes everything and just ties it together. Government of the Matrix. When you get a chance to, I would read it, because some of the things obviously I'm not going to go into today, but you will be able to really get a good handle on that. Okay, so these ascended masters hold various offices, just like a corporation, a business, and there's a natural hierarchy, and this is the manner in which the various levels of control and management over various worlds or realms are decided. This is the reason for the sacrificial mindset held by most religious organizations. You must sacrifice yourself for the Lord or God. Of course, this is carried out in various levels of extremes. So we all